Hello, so today for this homework we're going to look at what are ethics. Now, with pretty much anything we do need to have some kind of moral code, and there is a difference between what is ethical and what is the law. So something that may not be ethical doesn't necessarily mean that it's against the law. So there are many different definitions and meanings of ethics. Now, moral principles govern a person's behaviour or conduct of activity. Now, not everybody necessarily has the same moral principles, so I suppose that's where the law may come in to protect us. Now, there is a field of moral science, and rules of conduct are recognised in a particular profession or an area of human life. So, moral principles. Now, firstly, ethics and moral principles are not to do with the law. Okay, so there's nothing to do with the law. They're simply a code of conduct that we must follow to make something work, or, maybe follow something on the internet or on a network or in a trusted place. So, for example, in some professions, there are more ethics and moral principles that may have to be followed. So a moral principle will concern whether something is simply right or whether it's wrong, but even then that may be open for debate. So just because it's not breaking the law, does it mean it's right? And and obviously some people's answers may differ in those respects. So some people may think because it's not breaking the law, there's no problem. But some people may say, well, no, you're not breaking the law, but ethically this is wrong. So, but the viewpoints may come from philosophic, religious, legal, or reasonable set of principles or set of standards. Now, back in history, philosophical debates basically have been going on for over 2,000 years. Frequently quoted texts come from Aristotle and Confucius. So religions have been incorporated into philosophy and laws, and they simply reflect what is right and what is wrong. But where does computer science fit into this? Okay, well, it does, because basically computers are growing in almost our everyday lives, every industry, everywhere. So computer ethics now are a set of principles that define what is morally sound and what is correct. Now, in your life, there's always going to be crime around. And where there's new technology, there tends to be a growth of crime, or maybe that the perspective of that crime may change. So computers, they contribute to health and safety and the welfare of the public. They contribute to our privacy. They contribute to our intellectual property rights, and copyright. So, for example, code can be copyrighted. Censorship, okay, because there's lots and lots of things that go around the internet and it needs to be censored. Now, computers will have an increasing role in our society. Okay, we take smartwatches, we take phones everywhere with us. Industry. There aren't many industries that don't use computers. Education, IT is a massive tool in education. Health and medicine, welfare and the government, and commerce. Okay, so buying and selling stuff. We do this with computers. So law and ethics all come in to computers. Computers are a massive part of that. Now, software engineering does have a code of ethics. So the Association for Computing Machinery, so that's ACM, and the Institute of Electronic Engineers have codes of ethics. Now, you can check out their website. So although it's based in the USA, it does have a global perspective. Now, this is a code of ethics. It's not a law. Okay, so some or all of the code can be followed. Now, it's appropriate to consider the code of ethics that they recommend, but they do imply codes of conduct in other countries, for example, that may not be as important. So what is the software engineering code of ethics? Well, it's extensive, but also quite simple. So the code is a central focus of public interest and should not be a lookup table to recommend an action or a scenario. Okay, so it's not if something happens, oh, let's look up the code of ethics, okay? The code offers a set of principles that will advocate ethical judgments in a profession. So each principle is focused as a sentence of elaborating on that focus. So it's not necessarily a straightforward code. It's, you can elaborate on it. So it can give, help out with an ethical judgment for all developers, really. So now the principles are public. Okay, so software engineers should act consistently with public interest. So now software is incredibly powerful tool. Okay, so when you're designing a software, there should be a level of public interest, okay, in terms of the public's privacy, their data, how is it being protected, and how is this going to help the public. Then there should be client and employer. Okay, software engineers should act in a manner that is in the best interest of their clients and their employer and consistent with public interest. So when engineering software, it shouldn't be necessarily just aimed at, all the advantages are with the employer. Okay, so it should act as well for the client. And then you've got your product. So software engineers should ensure that their products are related to modifications met of the highest professional standards, okay, possible. So if someone's paying for a product, obviously they should be getting good value for money and a good product that works, okay? So, it's as simple as that, really. Like, for example, if you go and buy a stand for your TV from IKEA, then that TV stand should be holding the weight of your TV and it shouldn't be breaking, okay, and then breaking your TV. So it's as simple as that, a product that works. Now, judgment. Software engineers should maintain integrity and independence in their professional judgment. Okay, so there should be honesty, and obviously they should be independent to follow their own judgment too. Now, management. So the software engineering managers and leaders should be able to subscribe and to promote an ethical approach to the management of their software, development and maintenance. And then profession. So the software engineer should advance their integrity and reputation of the profession consistent with public interest. Okay, so this is all pretty straightforward, meaning, to sum it all up, if you're going to create a software for your clients, you must follow these principles. You must make sure that your product works, it can be managed, it's professional, and it's in the interest of not just your employer, but also the client. Now, colleagues. Software engineers should be fair and supportive of their colleagues, okay, because you're working as a team. And then obviously you should be, for self, participating in lifelong learning regarding the practice of their profession and promoting an ethical approach. Okay, because obviously as the years go on, things change. Okay, so there's new code to learn, there's better code to learn, but not just that. As well, people's principles change, things move on, people's interests change, laws change, privacy changes, everything changes. So, now, principles. Okay, so you can go onto the site yourselves, obviously, and you can accompany the principles that there are 80 clauses, okay? And they're numbered 101 to 809. So the clause may not discuss software engineering specifically, but they do discuss any bad behaviour in general and common sense in terms of conduct. So here's some examples. Okay, so 203, use the property of a client or employer only in ways properly authorised and with the client's or employer's knowledge and consent. Okay, so it's a pretty broad statement. But meaning that if you're going to use the property of a client or employer, so for example, if you're designing software for somebody and you're using, you know, their IT equipment or anything, then you're using it in ways that's authorized, okay? And you're not using it in other ways to earn yourself, you know, money elsewhere or something. Assign work only after taking into account appropriate contributions of education and experience, tempered with the desire to further that education and experience. So basically meaning that you're taking work for the right reasons, okay? So like maybe gaining more experience and, you know, obviously that you're able to take on the role. And ensure realistic quantitative estimate of cost, scheduling and personal quality and outcomes on any project on which they work or propose to work, and provide an uncertainty assessment of these estimates. Okay, so in other words, don't just give them a price and then take longer and charge them more and charge them more and charge them more. Okay, right, so that's that. Now, oh, sorry, there's one more. Obey all the laws governing the work unless in exceptional circumstances such as compliances with, is inconsistent with the public interest. Okay, so thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos please. Teachers, you can visit my shop on Tess and you can follow me on Twitter. Okay, so very best of luck to you. Please complete the homework.